Welcome back. We're testing 3 small-capacity bikes that are ideal for beginners. And now it's time to enter the Dragon's Den. Which of our presenters will seal the deal?
Thank you, Mr. Durrans. Your 30-second justification starts now.
This is a BMW. Everything that means in terms of reliability, build quality and dealer service backup. Never mind, bit boring, but also resale value. 313cc single-cylinder engine with a 28 Newton-meters of torque and 34 horsepower. Amazing handling, complete affordability and practicality. And let me mention the affordability again. Gentlemen, let me end on 62,999 rand. It is a bargain. It is a BMW. I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Durrans. That's a very learned presentation. We've all ridden the bike, of course, and it does go very well, but it doesn't stop very well, does it?
The single brake disc is 300 millimeters. It's pretty big.
But it doesn't stop very well, does it?
It lacks a little bit of feel and bite. Yes, I will admit the brakes could be a little bit better. It's not that they're bad, it's just that they're not good either.
Thank you.
Well, that's convenient because it doesn't exactly go forward very quickly either. 34 horsepower, you say?
Yes, but it's 34 horsepower, available just about everywhere, a massive spread of torque, and it really does encourage you to ride like a hooligan. So it's not only practical and affordable, it's bloody good fun.
Thank you, Mr. Durrans.
Thank you. Mr. Fisher, your 30 seconds of justifying the Ducati Scrambler begins now.
Gentlemen, this is a Ducati. It is not just a Ducati badge on a piece of pig iron from a third world country. This is a genuine Ducati built in Italy. I mean, it has a 400cc engine, yes, but it is a V-twin, like all other Ducatis. It is built on the same chassis and running gear as the Scrambler, which is a genuine Ducati. If you were to ask a spotty youth if he wanted a bike built in India or Italy, he would say Italy. This is the bike to choose.
That's all well and good, Mr. Fisher, but I have noticed that if I put my helmet, which is a shark, on the seat of that Ducati Scrambler,
Correct.
the value of both together is the same as the other 2 bikes added together. Can you justify the exorbitant price tag?
Yes, I can. This is a quality piece
How
of
much is
kit.
it exactly?
116,000 rand.
That's a lot of quality.
It is a lot of quality. I would wager that this bike will still be riding around on the streets of South Africa or even the world when your 2 are languishing in a landfill site.
That's not a justification, that's an excuse. You can leave with your exorbitantly priced piece of pig iron. Take your damn bike with you.
I can't, it's too heavy. Thank you, Mr. Furey. Your 30 seconds starts now.
Thank you, gentlemen. Now, who's going to buy a motorcycle like this? Somebody young, somebody exuberant, somebody youthful. And what do they want? Well, I'll tell you what they want. 43 horsepower, 34 Newton-meters of torque, 147 kilograms. Gentlemen, this is the most powerful, the torquiest, and the lightest motorcycle available in this class. That's all I actually need to say, but I'll go on. It has a TFT color dash. It has LED headlights, like the bigger Super
Thank you, Mr. Furey. That is very persuading. Mr. Durrans, do you have a question?
I like most of the things about your little KTM, but I have to say, if we're going after details, the instrument display looks like a melted slab of chocolate. It's terrible.
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, Matt. Thank you. The reason it looks its unique shape is because it is in fact housing a TFT display, which, while you're maybe not on the bike, looks not probably the best, but when you're on it, it looks utterly amazing, and that's all that counts.
You did mention the very light weight, but there is really a reason for that very light weight. It's very plasticky and tinny, isn't it?
Thank you for that question, Harry. Well, KTM's slogan is ready to race, and if any of you have ridden a proper race bike, you'll find they're also tingy because they're handmade. And this is also handmade by many hands in India.
in a factory.
Some of which are operating machinery.
Thank you for your input, Mr. Faree. You may park your bike. Well, presentations are all done, and I have to say, Harry, matey, me old matey mate.
Mate of all mates.
Yes, much as I like your Ducati, I really do, and I think if I had to have one in the garage and cost was no option, yeah, it would be the Ducati, but it's stupidly expensive, so we've got to get rid of it.
I have to concede, I do love it very, very dearly, but yeah, it's true. In this company, it can't play the same game.
Well, I say for 13 grand more, you can have the base 800 Scrambler, and I'd go for that, definitely.
To be honest,
Good
yeah.
point,
Yes.
good point. So we're down to between the KTM and the BMW, and I think it's best summed up the way you said it to me earlier.
Well, very simple. If your parents are buying the bike, they'll take the BMW. If your parents give you a big bag full of cash, you'll take the KTM. Simple as that, really.
Well, there you go. We have come up with a definitive verdict. Haven't we?
I don't really agree, but anyway, carry on.
It is a verdict. So there you go. We've told you which is the best bike for newcomers, but it's not quite as simple as that, is it? You need to get yourself a license. And how do you go about getting that? Well, I've got a man who knows how to answer that question. And the man to answer that question is Malcolm Tennant from Biker Bravado. Malcolm,
Hello, Matt.
thank you very much for helping us out.
You're very welcome.
Is it as easy as they say to get a bike license?
Well, it's relatively easy. Obviously, you have to know how to ride a motorcycle. But there's two sections. One is to do your learner's test, which is a written test.
It's multiple choice, isn't it?
Multiple choice. Gives you 20...
Even I've passed it, so it's pretty easy.
That's not bad. You're given 24 months to do your main tests within that learner's test period.
Okay, so you get 2 years afterwards.
2 years, yes.
Okay.
And then during that time, you need to come along for some training of how to pass the test.
Okay, so you've got a written multiple choice thing to begin with. To get your full license, so you never need to take it again. Explain what goes on briefly. It basically takes place in a car park, doesn't it? Someone stands and watches you, and you have to pass a series of tests which show your basic, very basic cornering and braking ability, I suppose.
Absolutely. It's basically a simulation of what happens in the road. And I guess samples are taken from the road and put it into a sketchy area. And then from there, folk are expected to perform according to a certain requirement. So it's a conforming exercise.
It's always the same test, therefore you can train people specifically on exactly the same layout and specifically for the sort of 8 or 9 disciplines that they'll be forced to show that they know how to do.
Correct. But if they can't ride correctly, then those things are shown up. So the techniques have to be in place for them to be able to pass the test correctly.
We're talking about all the stuff like mirror, check over your shoulder, you've got to put all those things into...
Yes, and not touch certain lines here and be on certain lines there, points of accuracy, etc.
Okay, so what about a lot of you guys I know watch the show don't actually have you're thinking about getting into the biking thing. You don't have a bike yet, so you want to start from scratch. I mean, maybe you can barely ride a push bike. I know I used to be like that. Can you teach someone can Biker Bravado teach someone from absolutely no ability at all?
Absolutely. We understand how people tend to work from a balance point of view, and we need to work. We actually work with those people, and people have come to us who can't even balance on a bicycle before, and we've got them up and riding, and that takes a bit longer than the person who has been on a bicycle, and so we work with the individual, get them to understand A, themselves, and secondly, the machine they're on. And a lot of detail goes into that teaching. And that results in a very well-rounded motorcyclist.
Yeah, I mean, you get the basics right at the beginning, get rid of any bad habits that you might pick up if you listen to your mates.
Yeah.
And you're set for a solid, safe motorcycling life. I am interested, though, on one point. I mean, you've obviously feeding people into the system. I'm surprised there isn't more involved, I've got to be honest, about getting your big bike license. I mean, the guys who are standing there and marking everything, what are they? These are all like ex-racers or what? These are properly qualified bikers?
Not entirely. I think lots of the folk are not really motorcyclists as such. And we've encouraged them to also come along and do some training with us to improve their own skills. And impart them, of course, to the tests and get a great understanding of what it is to ride. So we're out there hoping that they'll also be part of the Biker Bravado.
Oh, Malcolm's a bit diplomatic, isn't he? I don't know if it's just me, but I think he's dropped a bit of a bombshell there. Just before you go, how are people going to get hold of you if they want instruction? I know there's a lot of you want to get on a bike. I can't encourage you enough. You've got a website or somewhere they can
We've
go.
got a website. It's called bikerbravado.co.za.
Okay.
And people can contact us there, and we'll have some fun and get them going.
As you can see, what an utter gentleman. He will teach you to ride a bike, and you will enjoy it. More after the break.